The drive to acquire land is as old as civilization itself. From the first city-states to modern nation-states, the quest for territory has been a constant throughout human history. Land equals wealth, both in terms of natural resources and strategic positioning. It provides room for populations to grow, for economies to expand, and for militaries to project power. Throughout history, empires rose and fell based on their ability to conquer and control territory. The Romans, the Mongols, the Ottomans all built their empires on the backs of territorial expansion. These conquests were often brutal, marked by warfare, displacement, and cultural assimilation. Yet they were also transformative, redrawing maps, shaping destinies, and leaving lasting legacies on the world we live in today. From the steppes of Eastern Europe to the islands of the South China Sea, the battle for territory is being waged through a complex mix of military maneuvers, economic coercion, and legal wrangling. Whether it's securing vital resources, expanding national borders, or simply projecting power on the world stage, the acquisition of land remains a central pursuit of nations around the world. The allure of land for expanding nations is multifaceted. It's not just about adding square miles to a map. It's about the tangible and intangible benefits that come with territorial control. One key motivator is economic. Land often holds valuable resources like oil, minerals, timber, and fertile farmland. Controlling these resources translates into economic prosperity and leverage on the global stage. Beyond raw materials, land also offers strategic value. A port city can project naval power. A mountain range can provide a natural barrier against invasion. The desire to reclaim lost territories or to unite culturally similar populations can override practical considerations, leading to intractable conflicts that span generations. The emotional resonance of land, its significance as a symbol of national pride and historical grievance, adds a volatile dimension to territorial disputes, making them particularly difficult to resolve. The ongoing tensions in the South China Sea provide a stark example of how resource-driven annexation plays out on the global stage. China's assertive claims over vast swaths of this strategically vital waterway, rich in fishing grounds and potential oil reserves, have brought it into direct conflict with neighboring countries. From constructing artificial islands to deploying its maritime militia, China has shown a willingness to use its growing economic and military might to assert its territorial claims, raising concerns about freedom of navigation and the potential for conflict in the region. Another contemporary example is the Russian annexation of Crimea in 2014. This event, condemned by much of the international community as a violation of Ukrainian sovereignty, highlighted how historical grievances and the desire to protect ethnic kin can fuel territorial ambitions. Russia's justification for its actions rested heavily on the historical and cultural ties between Crimea and Russia, particularly the presence of a significant ethnic Russian population. The ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine presents a deeply rooted example of how land disputes intertwined with national identity can defy resolution for decades. Both sides lay claim to the same territory, each with historical and religious narratives that underpin their claims. These examples, though geographically diverse, share a common thread. Territorial disputes are rarely isolated incidents but are woven into the fabric of national identity, historical memory, and strategic calculations. Section 4. The high-stakes game, international law, and the pushback against annexation. The international community has long recognized the destabilizing potential of territorial annexation. The United Nations Charter, a cornerstone of international law, explicitly forbids the acquisition of territory by force. However, the effectiveness of international law in curbing territorial ambitions depends largely on the willingness of states to uphold it. When powerful nations choose to disregard these norms, as seen in the cases of Crimea and the South China Sea, the international community often struggles to muster an effective response. This complexity underscores the need for robust international institutions and diplomatic mechanisms capable of mediating these disputes peacefully and fairly. Section 5. The future of global real estate cooperation or conflict. As we look to the future, the competition for land and resources is likely to intensify. Climate change, population growth, and resource depletion will put increasing pressure on nations to secure their access to vital resources, even if it means resorting to aggressive tactics. One promising avenue is the strengthening of international legal frameworks for resolving territorial disputes peacefully. This includes bolstering the capacity of international courts and arbitration bodies to adjudicate claims fairly and transparently. Another crucial aspect is fostering a spirit of cooperation and shared responsibility for managing global commons, such as the oceans and Antarctica. This means moving away from zero-sum thinking, where one nation's gain is seen as another's loss, and towards a more collaborative approach that prioritizes the long-term health and sustainability of the planet. Ultimately, the future of global real estate hinges on our ability to navigate the complex interplay of national interests, international law, and the need for global cooperation. The challenge for the international community is to forge a more equitable and sustainable path forward, one that recognizes the interconnectedness of our world and the need to manage our shared planet responsibly.